What's going on, guys? It's Clutch Hoops here, and today we're going to be talking about 5 prospects in the 2020 NBA draft who are extremely underrated as of right now. Every single day for the past month and a half, I've been doing so much research on the NBA draft prospects, and there are a couple players in college and overseas who draft experts still haven't found significant value in. On top of this, a few of the players in the mid-tier range of the draft deserve to be ranked higher, but they are so underrated it's unreal. It's honestly comical to see how underrated some of these prospects are because they all will have a role in the NBA, but some people have still yet to find out what that role is. One player in this video is so underrated that he should be ranked at least in the top 30 of the draft, but on almost every single draft big board, he is outside of the top 80. Recently, we got Obi Toppinray as an underrated draft prospect as he has risen on draft boards ever since the video, and these players listed will only be on the rise too. This video is necessary in my eyes, and hopefully you guys can understand how underrated these prospects are as well. With that said, let's get right into it. Number 1, Immanuel Quickley. Quickley has been incredibly underrated throughout this draft prospect as he's unranked in every single NBA draft prospect list, and the one place I could find a ranking for him is on NBADraftRoom.com, where he barely squeaked into the second round of their mock draft at the 56th overall pick. Immanuel Quickley is a 6'3", 190-pound shooting guard in his sophomore year out of Kentucky who has shocked the world this season. In his freshman season, he had trouble with his shooting and was incredibly pass first, which led to him scoring 5 points per game. This season, he started coming off the bench, but after a game versus Louisville where he scored 18 points, he's been put into the starting lineup and been incredible. He scored double digits in every game since then, and he's been much more aggressive on the court. He's averaged 16 points, 4 rebounds, and 2 assists on 40% from the field, but on over 40% from 3-point range too this season. And these are counting the duds where he's scoring 6 points, 9 points, 2 points, etc. The main questions about his game was his shooting ability and form, but this summer he fixed something with his shooting form and has been able to become a dead-eye 3-point shooter. Having a great 3-point shot with a relatively quick release allows him to space the floor very well and attack the rim / create for his teammates much better. During the first part of this season, he struggled creating for his teammates and was very pass first, but against LSU, Vanderbilt, and Texas A&M, he showed he could create for his teammates while being able to score. He has been able to show a very effective hesitation move in the open court, and he's been able to use his quick first step to create in the half-court setting. On top of this, Coach Calipari on multiple occasions has praised him for his defense this season, and Quickley has at minimum showed he could be a 3-and-D player in the NBA. He's put together 3 straight 20-plus point performances with a 30-point performance against Texas A&M where he absolutely dominated. The concerns about his game is that he's a sophomore, he's only 6'3", and doesn't have elite athleticism. These weaknesses do not validate him being undrafted, and he has the potential to develop into a player similar to CJ McCollum at the next level if he stays consistent for the rest of the year. Number 2, Killian Hayes. The 6'5" French point guard who is currently playing in Germany has one of the best offensive games in the entire draft. He is a magician in the pick and roll game and will make every single right read when facilitating with his left hand. He can shoot, make any pass with the size and wingspan, and sees the floor very well. His main weakness is the fact that he settles up for pull-up shots and refuses to attack the rim when driving with his right hand. This will take some time to fix in the NBA, which is one of the reasons he's the biggest prospect in the entire draft. Killian is still 18 years old and one of the youngest prospects in the draft, but since his game is already this advanced offensively at such a young age, it shows that he has some serious potential to fix these weaknesses. He's had very little trouble finishing at the rim, dominates in the pick and roll, and has one of the best step backs an 18-year-old has ever had. He's the leader of his team in the EuroLeague, where he's averaging 13 points and 6 assists in 26 minutes per game. Currently, he's ranked as the 6th best point guard and 14th overall prospect by ESPN, and the 10th best prospect by CBS. His upside is incredible, and in a relatively weak draft class, he should be ranked at least in the top 7 of this draft. Expect him to be on the rise and to go early in the draft to a rebuilding team that has the time to develop him. Number 3, Paul Reid. As of right now, Paul Reid is ranked as the 41st best prospect by ESPN and the 32nd best prospect by CBS, which is just way too low. Paul Reid is a 6'9", 220-pound power forward out of DePaul who averages 15 points, 10 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2.5 blocks per game, all in 30 minutes per game. Paul has been a defensive monster for DePaul and has been able to defend every single position on the floor. He is very bouncy, has incredible length, and a motor that creates creates a defensive intensity for his team when he's on the floor. He's not going to be a superstar by any means, but his ability to shoot or roll in the pick and roll game will make him a very effective player at the next level. He shoots over 30% from 3 and a bit under 80% from the free throw line, demonstrating that his shot is for real. He shoots over 50% from the field in college and doesn't force anything, which is impressive because the team he's on is pretty bad. With Reid's explosiveness around the rim, shooting abilities, effort, and defensive instincts, he has the ability to seriously impact a good team immediately. If you're drafting later on in the first round and need a solid big man, it's going to be very hard to pass on Paul Reid based on how he's played recently. Expect him to be on the rise as people begin to see his talent on display during the draft process. Number 4, Denon Ofili. This is hard to say if he's still extremely underrated, but he is definitely underrated. Denon is big enough to play power forward at 6'9" with a solid frame and actually plays best with the ball in his hands. He has the playmaking, creativity, and ball handling to be a point guard at the next level and operates best in the pick and roll game. He attacks the rim with authority and has been able to shoot the 3 ball very well in Israel at 35%. He doesn't have the biggest role with this team in Israel now that they were playing in the EuroLeague, but earlier in the season when they were actually going against Israeli teams, he was averaging 12 points, 2 assists, and 6 rebounds in 26 minutes per game. Recently with the Israeli senior national team, he scored 21 points with 8 rebounds in 24 minutes, and playing against high-level competition while still playing great is very promising. He's still ranked about 10th overall among many lists, but after these performances he's been putting together, I wouldn't be surprised if he's ranked in the top 5 very soon. Number 5, Devin Vassell. The Florida State shooting guard is ranked as the 20th best prospect according to ESPN and the 33rd best prospect according to CBS Sports. He's a 6'7" shooting guard / small forward out of Florida State whose game correlates to the NBA better than any other NBA draft prospect. He's a very athletic, high motor guard that can score the basketball in a variety of ways. He's also a very rangy defender that can get steals, blocks, and stops for his team using his physical attributes. The biggest positive about his game is the fact that he shoots 43% from 3-point range and shoots about 3 threes per game in 28 minutes, so this isn't a fluke at all. He only averages 12 points and 5 rebounds per game, but with his 6'7" frame, athleticism, shooting abilities, and potential for an offensive game, there should be no question about using a mid-first round pick on him. He's going to be one of the underlooked prospects due to his underwhelming college stats, but he's one of those players who will be much better in the NBA. Tell me what you guys thought about these 5 extremely underrated draft prospects, and if you think that there are any other players that should be on the list. I hope you guys enjoyed, and if so, make sure you're subscribed to the channel to be notified for all my future draft videos. And with that said, I'm out and peace!